I feel like we're really camping right now.
We're not.
It's our version of camping. Or it's my version of camping.
I don't know if it's on.
I don't know if it's on either. Is it on, Graham?
Here comes your choo-choo. Ready?
Okay, so how long?
That's all you get.
That's all I get.
Past the fire, past the sounds. Moonshine through the clouds. Saddle up, 'cause there's no stopping me now.
You want to tell us a little bit about your harmonica?
Well, we were talking, I think, toward the New Year. Hang on, let me knock down little Leon Redbone there. We were talking about picking up a new habit or picking up a new hobby. Not a habit. I decided to go crack cocaine.
Got
A new hobby for the new year, and for whatever reason, I singled out the harmonica.
That is so good.
Anyway,
do you practice it every day?
Oh, I just fiddle around. I just fiddle around. But part of it is like positioning your lips on your mouth, and there's a. I just watch YouTube.
Okay.
So there's some
that's how you're
YouTube
learning.
activity that.
I'm curious how many other people.
Just neighbors and various and sundry friends here at the campground.
I wonder how many other people learn things on YouTube. Like Graham is the one that he turned us on to YouTube for everything.
You learn anything you'd ever want on YouTube. I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
Somebody's figured it out.
Yeah. It's
and then they
very
share
fascinating.
it, which is brilliant.
I know. Yeah. I mean, you can do like classes, but you usually find out about the classes through YouTube channels.
Yeah.
So they kind of guide you down there.
Well, and those are content creators are super smart. They will give you some information and say, go to my page and sign up for these lessons, which I will maybe do and maybe not. Right now I'm just piddling around. And
I mean, you are, for just piddling around, you're really good. I like the songs that you do, I can tell what they are. Like the choo-choo I got right away.
Yeah, you're sharp that way.
So what are we doing out here anyways? Do you want to tell people about this little homestead?
This little vignette that we've created in our backyard. Well, it's the auxiliary office is what it is. It's my auxiliary space.
He calls it his annex.
Yeah, it's an old school camping device.
Yeah. What year?
1978 she was born. It's an Airstream Argosy, which is painted. It's aluminum. It needs a bath, right? It's been sitting all winter. And if you ever have this thought where you let your kids eat snow, this is a good reason to not let them eat snow. It's the
camera's actually not picking it up.
Yeah.
Really good.
Oh, it looks really white. Beautiful. In that case, eat all the snow you want.
It's really not. When you were talking about it, I was like, oh, I bet it's going to be sticky and gross. It's really not that bad.
I kind of tried to wash at least this part that we were going to sit in front of, but it's going to have to be power washed.
You've taken really good care of it.
Well, I got it from some people who took really good care of it, and it's not a new piece of equipment for sure. It's definitely well loved and has a lot of miles on her, but we got her repainted last year and put new tires on her and kind of spruced her up on the indoors.
How many times has she left this spot?
4.
It really is like our annex.
Our annex.
Yeah.
Like you spend all kinds of time.
Did you see the look he had? Honey likes to come in here and she'll make coffees and she uses the little
there's a little sliding door
thing.
thing. She'll hand us out our ice cream treats and whatever.
Lattes.
But and I'll keep it warm in the winter. I come out here and write and read and nap.
And you've been out here in snowstorms.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Once it's dark, I mean, you might as well be in Montana. You can't tell you're in your yard.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice.
It is.
But today we're out here because it's a sunny day.
It's a sunny day.
I got to pop the awning for the first time this spring.
And Graham had this great idea that we could, come out here and enjoy the day.
And talk about vitamin D.
Yes.
Everybody needs a little vitamin D.
A little vitamin D, yes. Do you see a lot of people in the office with vitamin D deficiencies? Do they talk to you about that? I have clients that
I
will run
assume
labs.
every time one of my middle-aged gals comes in and tells me she took a bone density test that she didn't do well on, that's when we have to talk about vitamin D and calcium and some other things.
Yeah.
So vitamin D levels are important, but not every blood test is going to show you vitamin levels. A lot of times they'll do a straight CBC. So not every test is going to give you vitamin D levels. And the other thing, and we'll talk about this, I saw it in your notes, there's a difference between being in range or normal and being optimized.
Right.
And so, they tend to let all the sick people feel like they're in the normal range, when in fact, if you're in the optimal range, you wouldn't be one of the sick people for most nutrients.
And when you're talking about that with testing, it's really important that you go to your doctor and you ask for these tests to be done. A lot of times they're not just going to run it automatically. This is another situation where advocating for yourself is so important to your overall wellness. And if they won't run the lab, ask them to please document in your file why they don't want to do it, what their reasoning is, so that you have a paper trail.
Well, and I will tell you, unless you're dealing with a functional medicine provider, your traditional standard medical provider has no training in nutrients whatsoever. Right. That's not in the curriculum.
Yeah.
So they're good people, they're well-intended, but they are not the people to help you manage vitamins, nutrients, minerals, and then track deficiencies or toxicity. So to their, it just is what it is, unless you're dealing with a functional medicine practitioner.
Right, and that's why we do look at labs different. We look at them functionally. Look at
we consider you you're a functional medicine woman.
I am. I actually got my board certification this week, so I'm actually Dr. Lisa McCoskey.
Ta-da! Round of applause. Woo! Everybody who says congratulations, Dr. Lisa, in the comments will go in for this week's prize drawing.
Oh yeah, we gave the last blah 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 drawing.
Yep.
Actually, we could have them say blah 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 too.
No, it's congratulations, Dr. Lisa.
Okay.
Everybody who says that goes into the drawing.
Cindy Orff won our $50 Amazon gift card last week. I was excited to be able to send that out to her. But let's talk about vitamin D, because it's not just a vitamin. We call it vitamin D, but it's actually a hormone.
It has more hormonal properties than it does probably vitamin properties, but it has everything to do with immune function. Everybody through the pandemic or the plandemic or the whatever you want to call it, lockdown situation, that did not do well, that did not fare well, or consequently maybe didn't even live, had extremely low vitamin D3 levels. Low to no vitamin D3 is chronic immune suppression, which makes it hard to fight any kind of viral or bacterial situation.
Absolutely. When I have clients run labs, which I do, and it's part of their comprehensive panel, most of them sit in the 20s. And what we like to see is somewhere between 60 and 80, and even 80 to 100, but not over 100.
Even 80 or slightly above, it would be considered optimized.
I feel like that's optimized.
Within range.
Yeah. But they'll tell you 20s are in range.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, they'll give you the little bar graph.
Right.
And they may say it's in the low end of the range, but it's in range. So they'll let you feel like a winner.
So vitamin D is good. It also relates to your energy and your mood, and like you already mentioned, your immune strength. But a lot of times people don't realize its relevance in bone health, because the vitamin D and the K2 and calcium all work together to get the calcium out of the bloodstream. We eat things that have calcium in them, and then we digest them. They go into the bloodstream, but something needs to move that calcium into the bones. Yeah,
out of the bloodstream and through vascular pathways. It's got to be in blood for a while to get where it's going to go.
Right.
The other thing that's significant about calcium, though, is that if pH is very acidic, if your body pH is super acidic, one of the things that your bones will do is donate calcium to neutralize acid. So calcium is actually a buffer.
Yeah.
And if your blood pH is staying very acidic, and the American diet is very acidic, so if you're not taking on enough calcium that can be utilized, your bones actually give away calcium to neutralize. In other words, the body works in a hierarchy.
Yes.
And blood pH is a higher priority than bone density. Right. So it will give away, because blood needs to be very specific.
Because if it's too acidic, it will literally eat through the vessels.
It will not only eat through the vessels, it'll do the same thing to your brain.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So bone density, calcium levels, and vitamin D3 have all of these properties that have to be kind of working harmoniously so that not only is your pH neutralized, but your calcium is directed to get into the cells appropriately as well.
Yeah. So people often wonder why they're so deficient in vitamin D. And I think a huge
What would you say is the reason?
I think the indoor lifestyle, it plays a big part in that. But also we have been trained to use sunscreen, toxic sunscreen, I might add.
I'm going to say that sunscreen is probably more toxic than anything the sun would do.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And plus it's blocking all that good vitamin D. So I feel like those are the two biggies. And, you know, it depends on where you live. People in Florida don't have to worry about this as much as people in Ohio.
Sure. Well, and that's why people from Ohio that go down near the equator or they go to the islands for a weekend getaway or a long week, they come back scorched and with probably something that would be approaching sun poisoning. And
Yeah,
that, again,
that's true.
but that's all that calcium that gets dumped into the bloodstream. That's where that
Exactly.
sunburn comes from.
Yeah.
And what do we use to neutralize that? Is it E? No, vitamin F.
Vitamin F, yeah. So essential fatty acids are what also moves that calcium out of the tissues that prevents a burn. We actually have mineral sunscreen that we recommend in the office, and it's calcium lactate and the Cataplex F.
Cataplex F, yeah. Which is also, isn't butter where you get vitamin F?
That's an essential fatty acid,
Yeah,
I think it has to be like grass-fed,
proper
cows, organic.
The closer,
all of that,
and again, the rule is always the same. The closer food is to the way it comes out originally, the better and the more beneficial it'll be. The more processed, the less beneficial.
Right. So one of the things that we talked about right before we came on, I'm wearing my sunglasses. He's got his on his hat. But we were talking about the, you know, there's kind of some scuttlebutt about, do you wear them? Do you not wear them? Is it saving your eyes by wearing sunglasses? And the answer is yes and no. So it's how we look at it. If we think about our eyes as like light sensors, when we are exposed to the sunlight, it sends a signal to our hypothalamus, so our brain, that regulates the circadian rhythm.
Okay.
So it's not so much the sunlight that goes through our eyes is not going to affect really the vitamin D levels, but it has other beneficial.
Right, the pineal gland loves a little sun.
The pineal gland, so our hormones, the melatonin production through the pineal gland, but also it adjusts cortisol levels, so it's also helping adrenal glands, and sets our internal clock, you know. But it's just like 5 to 15 minutes in the morning. It's just gentle sun. We're not talking about get out on a lake and don't wear your sunglasses, because your eyes can get a sunburn too.
Snow skiing, you know, when you're in the sun on a snowy day, or where there's snow on the ground, it's brutal. It's a lot of light.
It's too much.
Yeah.
So protecting the eyes is important too. So it can be both things. I'm starting a new series in my Facebook group called Tweak of the Week.
I see what you did there.
Tweak of the week. So the tweak of the week that we're going to share on the podcast is see the day, quote unquote, see the day.
Okay.
So have your sunglasses off, get 5 to 15 minutes of early morning sun if you can. So that's your tweak
sun
of the
before
week.
noon is going to be probably easier for your body to manage than sun beyond noon. And that doesn't mean slather yourself with baby oil and lay out by the pool. That means
but that does sound good.
But sun on your face in the morning is magical for your brain. It's wonderful for hormone balance. Like you said, it helps with a variety of things, circadian rhythm and so on. That's where this time change things wrecks everybody. It's every time they bump the clock around, people complain for a week or two. And it does. It kind of, it's a governmental interruption in our circadian rhythm, mandated by, people we don't really necessarily
Not every state does it. You know that, right?
I know.
It's kind of
Most
crazy.
of the world probably doesn't do it. I don't know.
I don't think so. Yeah. So we talked a little bit about the vitamin C and calcium connection there. One of the other things where if people are actually supplementing with vitamin D and they're not seeing their levels change, a lot of times it comes down to what type of vitamin D they're taking.
Sure.
And what they're taking it with. So let's just start with the D3, D2 conversation. A lot of prescription vitamin D is vitamin D2, and I can tell you what that is actually called. It's called, so vitamin D3 is, I knew I was going to not be able to say this right.
Cholecalciferol?
Yeah, thank you,
Yeah.
thank you. And so D2 is ergocalciferol.
Okay.
So they're two exactly.
I did not know that.
Yeah, two different types. It's a cheaper supplement. It's weaker and shorter acting. So it's not going to up the vitamin D levels. And this was something that I saw when I was in the office, that women were on like 50,000 IUs a week of the prescription.
Just trying to get themselves back
But
in
they
range.
didn't. It didn't
Well,
work.
yeah. It's the
Like,
wrong
it's
D,
the wrong
and it's
D.
also not being supported by K2.
By K2 and also magnesium. Those are two very important nutrients that they all work together. I was going to show you guys, this is the D3 K2 CoQ12 that we take. This is from Symbiotica.
And
I
that
love
little
that it's
zippy
combined.
pack is it's portable.
Yep.
It is delicious,
It's
actually.
delicious. Yeah,
It's-
this is the tangerine flavor.
you can squeeze it into your smoothie, or you
Mm-hmm.
can squeeze it right into your mouth.
Right, exactly, either way. And then taking that with the magnesium complex, they actually changed from L-threonate to doing a magnesium complex, and they have 3 different types of magnesium in here to support a variety of things. This one tastes like vanilla almond eye, actually. This is one of my all-time favorites. But the magnesium complex also helps with brain health then too.
Magnesium
Stress
deficiency
management.
is huge. And again, you can't get all the benefits of your other nutrients when magnesium levels are
Right.
not balanced, or when calcium levels are not balanced. It is really symphonic. It really has to be done properly.
It really does. And so
I'm always kind of
vitamin
entertained.
D,
What do you think about prescription vitamins? Well, I went to my medical doctor and he gave me a prescription vitamin D, as though it's somehow turbocharged or better than.
But what I've learned over the past years is that it's not. They're actually, part of it is because they're just taking the isolated vitamin chemically out of, and I'm not saying that this is bad all the time, because I do think sometimes you do need this, but when it's being isolated out, the body doesn't know what to do with it. You know, our body knows what to do with
it's
whole
not meant to
food.
manage synthetic particles.
Yes, exactly.
And that's why they call
yeah.
them supplements. They are in addition to real food and should be combined with or created from whole food. So the nutrient synergy that comes from the vitamin A, for example, that you would find in a carrot is
Right.
very different than the synthetic vitamin A that you would buy in the shelf at Kroger's or at the health food store for that matter. So synthetic things are isolates and particles, and the body is engineered to do things with whole food,
Right.
not isolates and particles.
Exactly. And so the way I like to think of it is that when you're taking the vitamin D, that opens up the door.
Okay.
K2 is going to direct the traffic, the
Come on
calcium
in.
traffic.
Come on in
Right?
here.
And then magnesium just kind of keeps the
Magnesium's
whole
a smooth
system
mover.
smooth mover.
Yeah.
And
Well,
that's how
people, come on.
That's how they work together synergistically. And I think that's super important. You know, the vitamin D doesn't decide where the calcium goes.
So are we getting vitamin D like my right arm is getting vitamin D that my left arm is not? This is like driving in Europe.
Yeah.
I have to go back to the States and get my other arm out the window. Vitamin D is converted from sunlight, though. The body converts sunlight to vitamin D, which now if I'm doing that, if I'm getting my vitamin D more naturally, do I need to support it with things like K2 or more magnesium?
No, you don't.
Because the rhythm of the planet and the nutrients involved
So
are...
it's a yes and no thing as well. So no, you don't need it to bring it into your system.
Okay.
But you do still need K2 for proper utilization.
Yes, I would agree.
Yeah, proper calcium
Can
utilization.
you have too much vitamin D? Can there be too much?
You can have too much
And
vitamin
if you have
D.
too much vitamin D, how would you know? What would be the evidence?
Nausea, fatigue, you might have elevated calcium. This is where I just appreciate testing so much. You know, I want to see what the D is, but I want to see what all the other factors are. Sometimes parathyroid hormone is implicated in something like this.
Okay.
So, and,
Yeah, calcium levels and parathyroid hormone are intimately related.
yeah, and people don't really think about the parathyroid. And parathyroid are just these 4 teeny tiny rice-sized
They're like the
glands.
size of a grain of rice.
They have nothing to do with the thyroid except for they live in the 4, I would say, what would
Quadrants
you call it?
around.
Quadrants. I
That's why
think
they call
the
it
thyroid
para.
looks like a butterfly.
It is near.
Yeah.
Para is close.
Yeah. And, you know, we've had patients in the office where they've had tiny tumors on the parathyroid gland, and rather than taking out the thyroid or removing all the parathyroid glands, they
Yeah.
will actually take the healthy ones and insert them into another part of the body so that the body continues to produce that parathyroid hormone, which I think is brilliant.
Well, it's a nice example of at least traditional medicine trying to work with the way the body's designed to work instead of work against it.
Right, exactly.
You know, move location is different than extract.
For sure, yeah. So the other thing about the vitamin D being too high, that rarely comes from too much sunlight. That is not usually, it's usually the over supplementation of vitamin D.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So, yeah.
So knowing
go
that we're
outside.
coming out of a long, cold winter, we get days like this, I guarantee you, tomorrow's going to be near 80 degrees here in
know.
Ohio. But
Yeah.
I guarantee you we are not done with winter.
Oh,
when you
no.
look into even
No.
next week's forecast, I'll have to button all this back up again because it's going to be cold at night. But when would be the best time to supplement your D with knowing that you can't expose your skin and your face?
Think you mean like winter?
What season? Yeah.
Winter time.
Yeah, when you're all covered up, you're not getting sunlight. And so that would be a much more important
Yeah.
time to supplement.
Some of the things that you can take to help to support the absorption are healthy fats. This is another reason why I love the Symbiotica, is it because it's in a liposomal formula.
Okay.
So it's already got the fats in there, so you're going to uptake that a lot easier.
Wait, I thought fat was the enemy. If you eat fat, you're going to get fat.
Well, I mean, I do think that you need to minimize fat down to below 30 grams a day.
Are all fats created equally?
No, they're not, but I'm talking about even healthy fats, 30 grams or less per day. We are
Okay.
over fatified, and that's why there's such a high prevalence of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. When we clog up our liver, which is our filter, with fats, it's no different than clogging up our air filter in our home or our furnace filter. Things just don't get through, and
So it really is a matter of
wrecks the system.
efficiency.
It's
Like
efficiency.
you don't want things that are clogging your pipes.
Yeah. So if I see somebody that is taking vitamin D and the levels are not increasing, I start by asking if they're taking enough of it, because
Right.
sometimes we need to take more of things, just because it's the recommended daily amount
Yeah, so
on
I'm
here.
taking 100 milligrams of vitamin C.
Yeah.
My doctor said.
Well,
But you really need
Again,
1,000 milligrams every day,
Right.
or if you're ill, you need to take 1,000 milligrams every hour.
Right.
To really help. But so
and
are
then
we
the other
taking
question
enough?
is, are you taking enough? But another one is your gut healthy enough to actually let it in?
Yeah, exactly.
Are you
we
absorbing it? Is
Yeah.
a good question as well. And what would be the evidence of a poor absorption?
You mean if somebody has gut issues like irritable bowel syndrome?
I guess,
or-
yeah. If things aren't being absorbed, you can eat the best nutrients, but if your brain and your gut aren't talking very well, then you're probably going to get the benefit of
It's true.
whatever it is you're eating.
For somebody that has chronic inflammation, that's another reason why they might not absorb. And so looking at some things to take that down, like turmeric or curcumin or boswellia, things like that are going to help to settle the system down overall. And then is your body actually able to convert it and use it? And that's where the K2 and magnesium come into play.
Okay.
But, it's the real life integration of this. Get outside daily, and simple habits over perfection.
Yeah, it's easy to start small. You don't have to overhaul your whole life, but you do need to find it. Well, the rule is if you keep doing what you've been doing, you'll keep getting what you have now.
Yeah.
So the reality is if your blood levels are not showing up appropriate, and or just your symptomatology is getting in the way, I really feel like we're the most overfed but undernourished
Yeah.
population of people on the planet.
And honestly, I think we're the most oversupplemented.
Right. Yeah,
it's
people
like
will
you
say,
guys-
I've got 32 different bottles to open every day. Well, how about you
No.
just cut it out?
And this is something that I want to mention too, because I was just thinking about this today. We talk about a lot of supplements and a lot of minerals and peptide support and all of these things. And I just want to tell you right off the bat, you don't need all of them. In fact, if you have questions about it, you probably have something in your cabinet right now that will work and suffice that you just maybe haven't been using. And we're happy to help support you through like taking an audit of what's already there. I don't want to be an influencer. I want to de-influence you about certain things.
Okay.
And we have tools that can help you figure out if you're deficient. I have a very free, are you D3 deficient little quiz And you can just go through. And if these things, if you check them off and you need a little bit, then we look and see what you already have. And if you need something, then we can help you.
So we'll put a link to that. They can have access to that.
Yes, and it's so simple. It's one page. That's it. One page. Yeah,
All right.
it's just called Are You D3 Deficient?
Fairly simple.
We're going back to simple. Yeah.
Fairly straightforward.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Not too time consuming.
Not too time consuming. No, it's not gonna. It's definitely not gonna wreck your
Simpler
day.
is definitely better.
Yeah,
Definitely
but just know
better.
that really the only way to tell for sure, you can use checklists like this, but really the only way to tell for certain is if you have a blood test, and we can also set that up for you too. So we're good, right?
I think so. Get
Yeah.
outside, soak it up while
Yeah.
you can.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Anything else you want them to know?
Yeah.
Or are they going to comment?
They're gonna come.
Congratulations, Dr. Lisa. And then
That
we'll
will make
see
me
you.
so happy.
Yeah, we can dub in the round of applause from the.
I appreciate you guys walking through that journey with me too. I still have one more degree that I'm finishing up, and that's the nutritional medicine one. And that one has been a lot harder than I expected it to be.
Yeah.
But I got the functional medicine done, and I got the natural healing one done, and I've got a whole plethora of practice minors too that has just been so fun to learn about.
You're the smartest girl I know.
I love you, babe.
I love you back.
So they're going to like, follow, subscribe, and
And share.
comment.
And
share.
comment. All the above.
We appreciate you guys. We'll talk
See you
to
next
soon.
time.
Bye.
Don't stop me. Don't stop me now.
Yay!
All done.
Well, this is fun. We should do more on location things.